Hey guys, what's going on? So, even though the New Holland Workmaster series of tractors has become my favorite series of tractors because of all that you get for the money, no tractor is perfect, and there are a couple of things that I don't necessarily love about this tractor, and I'm gonna try and do something about at least one of them, maybe the other one also. But let me show you what's going on here. So you probably remember, if you've been watching the videos for a while, that the Workmaster 25 had a nice grill guard as standard equipment. It was pretty much perfect for covering up the front of the grill and giving you a little bit of protection, and it folded down out of the way when you needed to get in there and do maintenance. It was really nice. For some reason, the Workmaster 35 and the Workmaster 40 don't have anything there. Now you can see, maybe you can see, there are some threaded holes down there. So you could bolt one on, but when I checked the website to see how much it costs to buy the New Holland grill guard for this tractor, the list price is well over $600. As far as I can tell. I mean, I've tried multiple times on multiple different sites and parts lookups to find the part number that you would need for that, and from everything I'm seeing, it's over $600, which is just insane. Not going to do that. So I've been looking around to see if maybe somebody can make or sells a universal one, and I haven't found anything. I'm really surprised. You know, all of the attachments and implements and accessories that you can get for these compact tractors, I'm really shocked that somebody out there is not making a universal brush guard that you can just bolt onto these things, but I haven't found anything. So I really want something to cover this up. You know, you've seen that big brush pile that I've been putting together. You know, we do a lot of loader work with this thing, and it's just really nice to have some protection out here to keep the headlights especially, and the screen there in the grill from getting all busted up. So I kind of looked around here locally to see if there's any welding and fabrication shops out there that might do this kind of work. Maybe somebody could make me one. And I found this guy that I actually graduated high school with who does just that very thing. So I'm going to get him to come out here this evening and take some measurements. And he's probably going to be able to make me one. Now, the thing about this, I mean, if you're pretty good at, you know, that kind of stuff, you could maybe do it yourself, but it's kind of tricky here because, you know, you can see you've got some space requirements here. You know, you've got to be able to still lift the hood up and down, and it's got a little bit of a swinging arc there. So when you make something for this, you've got to allow room for the hood to open, but you still have to allow for the cross member here on your boom, on your front end loader, to come down also. So there's like a very specific area here where the brush guard has to reside. And so somebody who knows what they're doing, you know, they're going to come out and take some really good measurements and kind of look everything over. And so basically I'm just going to have him come out this evening and look at this and see what he can do for me. Now, ideally, like I said, I'd like to bring it over about right here to cover up the headlight. But I want to use some kind of like a metal mesh material so that obviously the headlights can still function and they'll just be covered up from debris and things. And I might have it, you know, brought up high enough to at least protect the screen on the grill there, which you can see is really dirty from all the gravel dust out there. But so far I've been really careful, and I've managed, you know, when I'm pushing into a pile of brush, I've managed to not mangle it up. But it just makes me paranoid because I know that these headlights and this hood, I know that if you had to replace that, it would be super expensive, which is probably why when guys do bust these up, they don't replace them. They just leave them like that. But anyway, so that's one of the things I'm going to try and get rectified. I'm pretty sure that a guy who can fabricate and weld can probably make something for this for a whole lot less money than $600. So the other thing that I don't like about these tractors, and really almost all of them are this way now, is the location of the exhaust pipe. You can see it down here on the side of the frame, just below the front of the hood. And what I have found is that you get a lot of exhaust and fumes and stink that gets blown back this direction up into the operator station. Because you can see the operator station is on about the same level as your exhaust. So inevitably, as you're moving along in the, out in the field, or if it's, especially if it's a breezy day or whatever the case might be, all of that exhaust comes out of here and floats right up into where you're sitting. Now on the 25, obviously, excuse me, obviously there was no emissions equipment on that one. And so it just kind of smelled like a traditional diesel. You get that oily diesel smoke smell. On this one, with the DPF and everything on there, it's a completely different smell. You guys are familiar with it probably. It's that sweet, chemically type smell. Neither one are pleasant, and neither one, are smells or fumes that I want to be breathing all the time. So I really don't like having the exhaust down here low. And the other thing is, it's really rare that this would ever happen, but if you had a situation where you're driving through standing water or something, sometimes our driveway gets flooded when we have bad storms. Again, that's going to be a really rare case and not ideal. But if you had to drive through some standing water, look how low that is. The water would just flow right back up. I don't really like that idea either. In the old days, the tractors had stacks where the exhaust would come up above, the operator. And so all the fumes and everything are up above your head, and it's not a problem. I'm really not sure why they don't still do that. That seems like the perfect and ideal way to route the exhaust to me. So anyway, long story short, what I'm wondering is, could a guy reroute this exhaust and bring it up either between the hood and the loader framework, or maybe, I guess you could cut a small hole in your hood, route it out, like they used to be. You could put a nice, trim ring in there so it looks factory. You could do that maybe, if there's not enough room to do it between the loader and the hood. I don't know, it's kind of tight in there. But I would really like to have the exhaust up above my head so that I don't have to smell this kind of stuff all the time and it's not blowing back in my face. It's probably not good for your health, and it's just annoying. So when he comes here to look at this for the grill guard, I'm going to ask him about that and just see what he thinks. It could be one of those things that would be more of a pain in the rear end than it's worth, but I'm going to at least ask him. So that might be a neat little modification. Other than that, I don't really have any complaints about the tractor, but a couple of things up here that I'd like to get done. So I'll keep you updated on that. And if we end up coming up with a design idea, I'll show you. We'll talk about how he pulls this off, what it takes to do it, how much it ended up costing, that kind of thing. So anyway, I'll give you an update later on. The weather has been really nice. We've got some really cold weather this morning, but it's been really nice up until now. And everybody's starting to think about mowing, and pretty soon it'll be time to do hay. My neighbor over there, she does a lot of, I guess what you would call hobby farming. She's got about 70 acres over there, I think, and she does a lot of hay, pretty much for fun, just because she enjoys doing it. So last year she got kind of into it and found out that the hay baler that she had wasn't going to work out, so she bought a brand new one, and this year she's going to be ready to go. She picked up a new, not a brand new, but new to her, John Deere tractor the other day. It was a 5075, I think, 5075E, 75 horse tractor, and brought it over, and my father was doing a little work on it for her, putting the weight stacks on the front, wiring up the controller for her baler. And I went down there and helped him out to swap the wheels, because she wanted to spread the width out on the wheels. We've got a lot of, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a lot of rolling terrain out here, a lot of hills, and it gives you a lot more stability to have your track width wider. So she wanted us to turn those wheels around and widen out the track, so we helped her out with that. But yeah, pretty soon, she'll be out here and doing some hay. And we just kind of have fun watching and helping out. It's one of those things that's just enjoyable to get outside in the summertime and do. So you might see a little bit more of that coming up on the channel too. And next week, hopefully on spring break, if the weather cooperates, we're going to go back into the off-road park thing again. We're going to take off and have a little trip. Thinking about going up to Indiana to the Badlands off-road park. My son would love that. They have sand dunes and that kind of thing to play on. So we're going to be getting back into some of the off-road stuff again pretty soon, hopefully also. So for now, I think it's lunchtime, so I'm going to head back in, but I appreciate you guys watching. Just lay it over here. Gonna swap these puppies around, give it a wider stance for safety. It's a pretty big tire, and it's about halfway full of fluid too. So they're pretty heavy. Got that fat stance now though, doesn't it, Austin? Fat stance. Good for hillsides.